Good morning, all my kids. I'm Auntie Cara, and this is Auntie Cara's story time. Today we are going to be reading In My Garden by Charlotte Zolotow. But before we dive in, I want to say a very special hello to my nieces Lily and Abby. I hope you are well. I miss you, I love you, and I hope to see you soon. Alright, let's dive in. In the spring, what I love best in my garden are the birds building nests. Of course, there are other things I love in my garden. Red tulips like a patch of fire under the pear tree, violets and hyacinths and daffodils. But in the spring, what I love best in my garden are the birds building nests. In the spring, what I love most to do is fly kites. Of course, there are other things I love to do, play talls and roller skate and skip rope. But what I love most to do in the spring is fly kites high over the garden wall. In the summer, what I love best in my garden are the roses. Of course, there are other flowers I love too, marigolds and daisies and Canterbury bells. But in the summer, what I love best in my garden are the roses, red ones and yellow and white. In the summer, what I love to do the most is have lunch under the pear tree. Of course, there are other things I love in the summer, listening to the birds singing in the trees, lying in the tall grass, watching the butterflies, and swimming in the cold stream. But in the summer, what I love to do the most is have lunch under the pear tree. In the fall, what I love best in my garden are chrysanthemums. Chrysanthemums. I always have trouble with that word. Of course, there are other things I love in my garden. The tree turning red and golden brown, the wild wind blowing, and the squirrels gathering nuts. But what I love best are the chrysanthemums, tangled and shaggy and smelling like spice. In the fall, what I love most to do is rake leaves. Of course, there are other things I like to do in the fall. Buy new sweaters and skirts and pencil boxes for school, and pick the ripe golden pears from my tree. But what I love to do most in the fall is rake leaves and jump in the big, crackly, golden piles of them. In the winter, what I love best in my garden is snow. Little bumps and humps sparkling everywhere you look. Of course, there are other things I love in the wintertime. The purple sunsets and the moon rising early and the pine tree with its branches heavy and white. But in the winter, what I love best in my garden is the snow, clean and white and still. In the winter, what I love most to do is ice skate on the pond. Of course, there are other things I love to do in the winter. Make snow angels, coast on my sled, and watch the black shadow of the pear tree in the snow. But what I love most to do in winter is skate on the frozen pond. And feel the whiteness and wind and winter all around. And that, my friends, is the end of the story. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you're having a wonderful start to your spring. It's certainly beautiful outside here. I will see you guys next week. Don't forget to keep reading. Ta-ta for now.